Welcome to Factorio. Let's start automating. My name is Nilaus, and this is the episode 3 of our Let's Play campaign. And I made a change actually because I noticed something that is really nice. If you're on the map view, remember hitting the M key for the map view, then there is a really cute function, I don't know if that's the word we're looking for, that actually displays what you have here. It's a function that's been there for a long time, but actually it's been improved suddenly and silently from the previous version until the now released version. So if you would like to have this overview, and I think this is very neat, so you can actually see what's going on, what you've built here, then follow along. You hit F4, and then you get up to these debug settings, and there are some really cool debug settings, and it's a bit of a shame that it tried to scare you off, because this is actually super cool to have in your base. And I mean, I would even recommend it just to give a better overview. You can also do as we did last time, like making manual things, like right-clicking on the map, and then selecting an icon here if we want to display that, delete it again. But this one is automated, so I mean, this is Factorio, so we need to automate everything. So hit the F4, go up to debug menu under the tab called always. That means these are always displayed. I am going to go down, and this is show logistics robot on map. Nope, that's not it. Show recipe icons on map. See? It is super nice. So we're going to leave this on because it's going to be even more beneficial, easy for us to get an overview of what's going on, and for you just if you lose touch of what we're doing, then take a look at it. So with that said, we have last time we built this little thing here, and I think this is what we're going to do in terms of the topic of today. Is just the eternal state of Factorio is that things are never done. You will never have a build that is, okay, now I don't need to touch this anymore. So you have to embrace the nature of things, that this too shall pass. And this too shall pass is also in terms of your builds. In the beginning, you will replace your builds fast, and later on it will take a bit more time. So I just went up and grabbed some coal because you can see our initial iron production here is running out. Now just a reminder, holding control, holding the right mouse button, it'll give you 25 in each one, and if you there, and we can also just grab whatever we have in these. There, that one has run out. Remember the Q button for picking up whatever you hover your mouse over. Really super handy. So this too shall pass. That goes also for all of your builds, and that's what we're going to look at. So what we've done first was just getting the very initial iron and copper in a very manual way. You have to feed the coal manually, you have to pick it up manually, and then we put it into some, I was about to say lunch boxes, but I don't know why I would call it lunch boxes. I'm going to make a lot of gears because we need it. So let me just, while I talk, make a lot of gears, right clicking to create 5 at a time, and they are just producing down here. So we now build this, and I have to manually ferry things back and forth, put the iron in here if I want to produce more. That's just a huge hassle to do. So we want to take it a step further, and the first step we did last time was just making the iron and copper smelting automated. So what we want to do from here on is actually starting to make even more automation. And what we want to do, or what I want to do, is actually saying, what if we could take this iron and copper and then put it automatically into some boxes like this? That would be pretty neat, wouldn't it? So let's start making some assembling machines. Assembling machine 1. We're going to make many of those. I don't think I want to make this anymore, so I can pick it up. We are going to deal more with biters, but I don't want... So the way I've designed this map is the biters are pretty far away, so we don't have to worry about them immediately. And because we don't have to worry about them immediately, well, then I'm not going to worry about them immediately. Wow, that was simple, right? What I will worry about, we have this one standing here. It can produce more science, so let's give it some science to produce. Now, what would we like to do? I mean, lights is nice. I like putting lights in my base. We can also do electronics. That opens up a lot of interesting things. Right now, we're looking at completing all of the red science only, because we could only make red science, and we make it very slow. So I think we take this one. And yeah, so we get electronics that opens up better inserters, which could be handy, nothing really else. We can also get the green science, that's the next level of science. And that's basically where we sort of are in the base. We have to sort of continuously build bigger in order to build more materials and build our base bigger yet. So the first thing we want to do is these two main ingredients we have here, gears and green circuits or electronic circuits. They are our main ingredients that we want to build. So how about we take these and go upwards, and then if we can build things along the side, it would be handy, wouldn't it? I'm just going to leave a bit of room before we get started. So we are going to build something, and if we look at this particular thing, so electronic circuits takes 1 iron plate and 3 copper plates, and it crafts in 0.5 seconds. So I would like to find a ratio that can use copper and iron and then always continuously produce, because this one is producing 2 copper plates per half seconds. So if I have 3 assembling machines making copper plates, then I can make 6 every half second. So let's say that. And now I'm going to show you something else. Instead of going in and selecting the next one and going in again, then you can do Shift, right click to copy, you can't see any indication, and Shift left click to paste. Then you paste the recipe of this one in here. And then the next thing we want to do is we build 2 more assemblers, and that's going to make the green circuits. I mean, they are technically called electronic circuits, but everyone calls them green circuits, so that's what we're going to call them as well. So what we have now is this will produce 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 every half second. This one will consume 3 plus 3, so it consumes 3. So what we need is to make sure that I can get some things in here, and then I can get from here, and here, and here, and here. Because this one will take all of it, put in here. This one will take all of it, put in here. This one will take half and put in here, and half and put in here. And then we need some longer inserters, because we need to grab this iron, and this iron is a bit far away. So if we complete it, it's going to be there and there. But we also need some longer inserters, these long-handed inserters, the red inserters. If we make this, you can see how it does. It takes there and there. That means it takes from that location and actually swings all the way over. So it could work. It could put into this box. But since the assembler is a bigger entity, by doing this, even though it sort of overlaps, it still inserts into the assembler. And now all we need is just insert some power poles. That should be good. And let's see, I'm just gonna get some power poles from down here, right? I don't know, we'll just do like this. Let's have a look at how this works. They're working, and we have green circuits produced. Now that's excellent. Now we want to do more, so let's also try to see if we can make gears. The point of this is now we have more items next to each other, and we can start grabbing them from this line and putting into other things. So if we want to make inserters, for example, we can take our yellow inserter here. It takes iron gears, and green circuits. And those are kind of things we already have here. So if we could get on the other side. Now this might be a bit fancy. Making something. And this is also important. No matter what you think you have, you probably need more. Did you see that again? You probably didn't see it. Drag it. I set the recipe in the first one. And then I hold Shift, right click, and then I simply drag by holding Shift and left click, and then the recipe gets set on the other one. It's super neat. Now here we're going to do something that's honestly, let's say, a bit fancy. I'm going to grab these two. They'll grab the iron, get into the box, and then I can actually overlap it here. They can swing past each other. This looks absolutely horrendous, but it works. And if we power it and power it, you will see how awesome this looks. See, they're swinging in, and then every other time they swing, 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 swing out. So what we have now is two sides of iron, one side of green, and one side of gears. Those are super useful for what we want to produce further on. So what we want to produce is some of the things that we're going to need to make belts, we need to undergrounds, we need to make splitters. Those are the sort of our main ingredients for building. We want to make yellow inserters and we want to make red inserters. So those are the things we absolutely want to make in our first little base. We'd also really like to make some electric mining drills because we need those, and we'd also like to make assembling machines. So those are the things that we should focus on at this point. So the way I want to do this, I'm going to make a few more because we need to scale up. This base is going to get big. And now I'm also going to show something else. This is also shown in my tips and tricks. If you want to grab more materials, then you can just hold F and run down the line. This is a really convenient way just to grab a lot of stuff. Just grab some stuff here. So now we have lots of stuff in our base. So instead of crafting the gears, we just use the ones we have already crafted. And I'm also going to make some red inserters. So I'm just crafting a lot of stuff for us. Maybe a few undergrounds and splitters. So the next thing we want to do, the thing to keep in mind here is the splitter requires transport belts. The underground belt requires transport belts. So it's a good idea if we put the transport belt in the middle, because if we have that, then we can have it insert into the two other ones there, right? So if this one is making it, then we can have it put in here by simply making like that. But we also need it into a box, don't we? Let's grab some more trees to build some stuff. Now at this point we actually have, things are peaceful and quiet. We're not using more power than we have available, so we can just let it go. It is automatically fueling, so we are in an extremely stable situation. Power is being mined automatically, feeding into power. Coal is being mined automatically, feeding into power. Power is feeding the coal mining, so that is a nice loop. All the rest of the stuff is just idle, except for a very slow and steady research. So we have all the time in the world to build. The only thing we have to be worried about is if there are any biters, but we've deliberately set the biters to be far away, so we don't have to worry about those yet. The way you can know if they are something you need to worry about is, thank you, research. I will take some other research. What do we like to have? Let's take optics, because I like making my base look a bit nice with some lights here and there. And I went to make some wooden chests. So each of these would be really handy if I could also allow them to put into some boxes. There, there, and there. And now we just need to figure out what this requires. This requires both some iron plates and some iron gears. So we use the long-handed. This can reach. This reaches if I extend the belts. Always extend the belts. This one reaches the iron plates, and this one reaches the iron gears. Good. Let's fire it up and see if we can power it and see if that works. Okay, we need a few more. That one. I also need one in there, otherwise these are not done. Look at that, things are working. And we also want to tick here. However, this one is not getting any iron plates yet. So what we do is we simply just put one in here, and now it's also doing iron plates. Now we don't actually want these to be filling up, because this is 100 per stack, and it could be, I don't know, 1600. So we can click this button. And right now I only want 4 of those. Likewise on this one, these are more expensive and we don't need that many. So we'll just take 1 stack, that's 50. Over here, this is not powered, but it really should be. Getting in here. This one, we don't need many of those, so just the 1 stack. This one is not working because it also needs green circuits and iron. And now this was a test, I would ask you how you would do this, but it's not a test, so I'm just going to show you. One for the iron and one for the other belt, and it will not take the gears because this one doesn't need gears, so it'll only take from the belt what is needed. And now you can see suddenly we are using our automatic iron smelting and automatic copper smelting to feed into some new builds here. That's pretty neat, and these are working, so we are continuing to work. So But you know what? I'm not happy yet. I want more. So what we want to do is, let's wait for the optics, the lights, because we want to make lights. Let's make some lights here. What else do we want? I think we want fast inserters. These blue inserters are way faster, and it's pretty neat if you want to stack a lot of materials into an assembler fast. Then you want faster assemblers. They are also more expensive. They cost the same as a yellow assembler. Oh, sorry, inserter, yellow inserter, plus some extra plates and electronic circuits. But we have a massive scaled up base, so no problem. We can easily deal with that. I hope. So I'm going to set this recipe for here. Now this is kind of awkward. But if we look at it, it takes iron plates, it takes electronic circuits, and it also takes copper plates. The fortunate thing is we actually have, and this is why I built it here. I think I built it incorrectly. I really wanted it to be built here. Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be built there. I think I'm just going to move it just to get a bit more room, and I'm going to take these out. This is still working, so I'm going to change it to green. And oh, inbound, and that one. Yes. So what if I take this one, remove it, place it here, find our lamp. The lamp needs one of these, it needs one of those, and it also needs some iron, which we can snatch from here. So things are getting really kind of convoluted, and I just need to put it into a box like that. We don't need that many lights, but we do need a few lights. Now all we need to do is just hook it up with some power. Boom, this one can power all of them. So what you will see now is these will slowly build, and I'm going to put in these copper plates, force them in there. Great. Now we also want to make some inserters, some red inserters and some yellow inserters. Those are super useful, so let's make those. The thing is kind of like with this one, if we look at our fast inserter, it takes a yellow inserter as input. So if I make the yellow inserter in the middle, then I can make the red inserter to one side, and then when the fast inserter research completes, I can make the fast inserter on the other side. All of these are only requiring stuff we already have. So I'm going to need some iron, some gears, and some electronic circuits. Super easy. It's going to be like that. Yep. And you are going to need gears and plates, which is also super easy. And that means it's probably a good idea for us to build that like maybe in between here. Yep. And we also need something to go between. So what we've now done is we can now make this, but they also need some output boxes. Put an output box here and put an output box here. Take these as well. I don't want many of these there. I don't want many of these. These actually, I think I want a bit more of. Yellow ones, we're going to use those because, for example, I'm going to map view. We're going to need a lot of yellow inserters for this area. So really, we want to make a lot of yellow inserters. Well, that did not work, right? That did not work. So I'll just put that one in. Okay, whatever. There. Look at that. We've already built it. Can we start building this one or preparing for it? We could, but I don't really feel like it. Now, this is not enough. We are super greedy. What we've done is these three and these two now, and also the lights. So this tab is pretty much complete for the stuff that we really want to mass produce. Now we want miners, we want assemblers. Those are definitely things. So one thing I need to mention is if you're looking at this view and saying, why do I not have balloon lights? The reason why is I have a mod, and that mod is making things a bit brighter because things have a tendency, the game has a tendency to be very gloomy, which is fine when you play it yourself. But when I prepare this for YouTube, it needs to be a bit brighter. So it basically turns up the brightness. It also has some other lights. I'm not going to build these lights, but it just makes sort of, as you can see here, this is very nice and bright colored, and it makes it easier for me to illustrate what I'm building. Right, let's keep this one under wraps for now. We'll just remember that we need to come back to it, but we need to build more. Let's build some electric mining drills. And this is basically where I'm gonna post this more as a test than anything else, right? Because, hey, what do we need? Iron, gears, and green circuits. Look how often it's just the same things again. So build those again. There. And now I can take, and if I right click, then I take half the stack and I put it in here. And as always, this should have an output box. Let's make an output box here. And I don't want more than 50. These stack to 50, so that's also good. Let's put an output box here. So we have miners, which will be handy when we need to scale up our copper mining or iron mining. You can see iron mining is only barely keeping up with what we need at this point. So it's nice to see that we want to strike a balance between our mining, our smelting, and our consumption. So you'll always need to see which one is lacking. And ideally, you want to have enough mining to keep everything flowing. Right, let's move on. We also need on this other side, I'm going to use the Q button going on this side. Let's also build some assembling machines. And look at this, it's exactly the same things again. Iron gears, and green circuits. Lucky we have exactly what we need right next to us. You would even think that this is something we'd planned right. I want to build this, then they're next to each other. And here we are going to take this one. Definitely don't want more than one stack of this. That's going to be 50. That's even too much as it is, but it is what it is. And on the other hand, on the other side, there's actually more we can do. We could and probably should also just make some automated firearms production, because, you know, any iron that sort of passes down here, we might as well use it for making ammunition. So let's build here. This one stacks to 100, so it's going to be 100, 200, or does it stack to 200 now? We'll do that one. We don't need too much. And this one only needs some iron, so let's do that. There. Right, slowly getting some iron, and it will build some ammunition. This is basically also more of our long-term planning. We are going to do some long-term planning here in order to we need to do some long-term planning, because by the time we meet the biters, the enemy in combat, we want to be prepared for it. And speaking of prepared, that's also a great opportunity to make turrets. Now turrets, iron and gears, perfect. We know how to do those. Except, how do we get the copper in? Well, there is hopefully, luckily, room for it. I'm just going to prepare this. Also, we don't want more than 50 of those. That's too much as it is. We do have copper here, so how about just grabbing it over? But if I grab it over here, it gets a bit far away, so I'd like to get it in here. That looks good, right? And that was fast and sort of finished. Great. What else do we want? We could start making steel, but I think that's something we want to do later. But let's do logistics science, because that's going to be the next episode. Is going to focus very much on getting the logistics science up and running. Now this gives us a potential to grab it from this belt. Don't need the last one. And we now have an automated production of turrets as well. And you can see this entire thing that we've just built needs lights. That's absolutely sure. It absolutely needs some lights. So let's put some lights in here. It definitely needs lights. It needs a light there for sure. Does it? Yes. More lights. Even more lights. Definitely also get some lights on the other side. That's a room for just a light in there. And let's also put some... Oh, you know what? This one's not done. This is where we need to do the fast inserters. I love the fast inserters. We want to use only fast inserters if we can get away with it, which we can't just now. And that's going to go in here. Again, it just takes more materials. And I don't want more than 50 of these. So what we have now is, look at how much we've crafted just by using the belts, the smelting column we built before. And now we're producing green circuits, we're producing gears, we're producing all the different types of belts, the assembling machines, all the different types of inserters, we do miners, we do protection, the defenses. It's just amazing, I think. What I think we also want is, I think we want to do this. And then I want to show you something. If you click on the splitter, there's something that was added not too long ago. It's super cool, I think. It's that you can set a filter on a splitter. And for example, say, now I'm just removing these two again. So now it splits so that on the left-hand side, I only get the green circuits. On the other side, I get everything else. So that's what it does. It filters something. It stays on the same side of the belt. So just for illustration, if I did this, I'm going to remove these. I'm going to put them again. I'm going to remove it. You can see it sticks to the same side of the belt, which is important. However, I'd like to have them kind of separated this way. I think that makes more sense. And we can do something else that's, I think, is pretty cool. We can make some boxes here because sometimes we just want to top up on some of our production. And why not say whatever comes all the way through, let's put it in here. Now, this is interesting, right? Because we see that we're now consuming more than we're producing in terms of iron. So what is the solution to that? Take some of our newly automated production of electric mining tools and increase our mining production. This part here has 24. It will consume half of a yellow belt. Those are just some of the numbers to keep in mind. 24 miners is a half yellow belt. 48 smelters is a full yellow belt. This is far from a full yellow belt. And in terms of miners, it takes 30 miners to fill a yellow belt. And what we have here is 8, so far from it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to use a copy function to do this, just to count 11. It's going to be pretty good. This is definitely enough. And I'm going to extend our power line there. So let's see how this works. I'm going to pick up some iron here because it's always nice to pick it up so they continue to work. This one is run out. This one is also run out. And this is where we kind of start to consider whether we want to build it again. So this one, you can see that the belt here, how empty it was up there and how full it is now. It's definitely not completely full, but it's certainly closer. I want to see how that goes in. The copper is fine for now. I'm just going to press Alt again. So this one is working fine. It's just everything comes in is being consumed. So what I can do, I have so much in my inventory, I can just hold Control and then drag with left click down. Then I insert a full stack into each. That'll make these keep really busy on the production. It'll also stop them from actually grabbing stuff and therefore letting more of the iron going through here. This one has already built 400. So we now have a pretty stable system that is ready to produce lots and lots more. So what we really want this to produce is to produce some science for us. So what we need to do, or what we want to do, is actually make some more of these labs. I'm going to take that one because we built it. This is exactly why I've made these boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because I already have one over there. So next time we will be looking at consuming some of these ingredients and making that into making the green, or the red and green science, or more correctly, automation, that's the red science, and logistic, that's the green science. That would be really nice if we could expand this one to also make science for us, so that we can start building the next scale up of the base, because we know that we can come back to this location and we can pick up assemblers, belts, splitters, underground, miners, turrets, ammo, and all the inserters we dream about, not to mention lights. All of that we got done in half an hour, and I didn't even rush it. So I hope that you found this interesting, fascinating, about how to convert our automated smelting into automated production. This is our first little micro base, and we're going to use this to scale up from, or basically as a stepping stone towards the next part. This is what I would call a jumpstart base. It's jumpstarting the real base, and that's but it's not done yet. We need to expand it with more things, and that's what we're going to do next time. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this series, be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. If you have some comments about something you feel that I skipped, something you feel that I was sort of not explaining, leave a comment below. I'm reading all the comments. I'm compiling lists of things to mention in the next episode. And so I'm reading it, I'm responding to it, and I try to make this as beginner friendly as possible. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember to subscribe. Stay effective.